I love reading these emails because the emails that I get really help other people. So that's why I was like, you know what, I should read these emails, you know, on camera. I should put them on my channel because some of these questions are the same questions that I get over and over, and I'm pretty sure that some of these questions pertain to a lot of people. So if you want to see what these questions are, go ahead and keep on watching. Welcome to my life as I live it. I'm Army Princess, the mother, wife, and soldier, and I want to share this journey with you. Make sure you go ahead and subscribe now so you don't miss a moment of it. Hey everybody, it's Army Princess here and welcome back to my channel. So it's been a very long time since I did my answering my subscribers emails. Since the last time I've done it, I can't even remember the last time I've done it. I've gotten quite a lot of emails. Sorry if it takes me like a week or 2 weeks to get back to the emails because first of all, I don't check my email every day, and then when I go in there, I have emails from like, they emailed me a week ago and I'm like, oh my god. So I answer them. Like, I can't answer it at work because I'm way too busy at work, but like nighttime or weekend, I'm getting a pedicure and I'm just sitting there, I'll answer my email. So I apologize if it takes me a long time to answer your emails, but I do try to get back to every single body. So I appreciate everybody who reaches out to me, who contacts me, who has questions, because these are like awesome questions. Some of them I have no clue how to answer, but some of them I give my opinion and I hope that it helps you all. Today I'm going to go ahead and talk about some of the emails that I have gotten in the last month. I got quite a few and I'm not going to get through all of them, but I do want to pick out some of the ones that I feel like might pertain to a lot of people. So I'm going to go ahead and read those. So this is like a common one that I get all the time, so I'm going to go ahead and read this one. I live in the state of California. My husband will be leaving for the military, for the Army, within the next few weeks, and I will stay home with our 2 daughters. I will graduate 2019 with my associates in social sciences, but I've always wanted to join the Air Force Reserves as well as get my bachelor's in nursing and my master's in nursing. Would it be better for me to join after my associates because I'm already 27 years old, or should I get my bachelor's degree and then go in? So for anybody that ask me about should I finish college first or should I just go now, my personal opinion, I'm always going to say go ahead and go to college first, especially if you have a specific job field that you're going into. Like she said, she wanted to do nursing. Some of the more general ones, it may or may not really be relevant whether you should go in or wait. But I always 90% of the time tell people to get your degree first and then come in. The reason why is because when you come in with a degree, you can come in as an officer. So the quality of life between officer and enlisted is totally different. Both have pros and cons. Not necessarily saying one is like way better than the other. Come on, camera. Okay, excuse the lighting. So the reason why I say to come in as an officer is because the quality of life is totally different. Not necessarily that one is better or worse, but the quality of life is different. And I feel like, in my professional opinion, I feel like as far as the officer side, you have way more responsibility. So that's why I said the pros and cons are different. You have way more responsibility and a lot of things are on your shoulders. If they go right or if they go wrong, it's going to be your fault. But the pro side to that is that you have a more flexible schedule. You might work a little bit longer hours, but it's mostly meetings, it's mostly signing paperwork, it's mostly dealing with the big grand scheme of things. Whereas the enlisted side, you're more like a worker bee. So you're told what to do, especially if you come in, you know, at the bottom, with no rank. You're going to be the worker bee. You're going to be told what to do. You're going to be doing all of the details and all of the bad jobs, at least in the beginning, until you work your way up. And that's like with any job. Until you work your way up and get promoted, life gets better the higher you go. But the higher you go, there's more responsibility. So that's the same as in the military life. If you come in enlisted, you're going to come in at the bottom. You're going to be working hard. You're going to be, you know, grinding. But if you come in at the top, you're going to be working hard, but it's going to be in a different realm. You're going to be managing, you're going to be in charge of things. And like I said, both have pros or cons, but would you rather be the worker or would you rather be the boss? Would you rather deal with the issues as a worker or as the issues as a boss? So that's why I say get your degree, come in up here as an officer, and you may have a little more flexibility with your schedule. You don't have people telling you, you got to be here at 7 o'clock and you can't leave until 4. Like, especially if you have kids, you want to be able to spend that quality time with your children. So anybody thinking about joining, go to school first, get your degree, and then come in. Now, on the flip side, you can come in the military and get your degree, but you're going to be working while you're working on your degree with a family, 2 kids, maintaining a household, a full-time job. It's going to be little time for you to go to school. Not saying you can't do it or it's impossible. People do it all the time, but it's not the same as if you just come in and you already have it done. So go to college, get your degree. It doesn't matter if you come in later, as long as you come in before the cutoff age to come in. I say age doesn't have anything to do with it, especially if you're gonna be an officer. You know, you're gonna be up here managing. Who really, I mean, you know what I mean? Doesn't matter if you're 27. Doesn't matter. Age doesn't matter. I'm 16 years old. I've always wanted to be in the Army due to the fact that it runs in my adopted family's bloodline, but I didn't want to deal with the artilleries and stuff. But just in the past 2 years, I've learned that there is more to it. So my main goal is to end up as a 68 X-ray, a mental health specialist. Right now, I am applying for ROTC program scholarship for college. So my questions: basic training. I have had about half of the people tell me it's awful and the others say it's not bad. What is it depending on your perspective and outlook? What part was the most difficult to you? And I talked about this, I think, in my last video that I put up. Is basic training really that hard? It's really not that hard. You can do it. Anybody can do it. It's not for everybody, but anybody can do it. Stay mentally stable. Realize what you're coming in for and keep that grounded. Keep that close to your heart as far as why you're coming in, and then you won't quit over little dumb stuff before you get in there. But it's really, really not that hard. The part that was the most difficult for me personally, I would say, was not being away. It's not being away from home. I know a lot of people, that is their most difficult part. I had already went away to college, so it wasn't like I never left home and I miss my mama every day. I missed her, but that wasn't the most difficult part. The most difficult part for me was the physical part. Push-ups, sit-ups, running all the time, being on this set schedule, because in basic training you on a schedule. They tell you what to do, when to do it, how much time you got to do it, and you better get it done. So that was the hard part. And we also had fire guard. I love to sleep, and you have to stay up for an hour each night. And I hated that. So that was difficult for me, but it was fun. I had fun. What is the best way to prepare myself physically for all this stuff? I do not play any sports, so I'm quite out of shape. And this was my issue. I just said the physical stuff. So the best way to prepare yourself physically is to start now. I tell everybody that email me, I'm going in and how do I prepare? What do I need to do? Start now. Start today. Come up with a regimen for yourself. I tell people 3 days a week you need to be running. At minimum 3 days a week, and it needs to be consistent every single week. Don't wait do it 1 week and then come back in 2 weeks and then start again. Consistently 3 times a week for at least a month minimum, depending on how long you have until you leave and ship out for basic training. I would say minimum a month if you have it. Start 3 days a week. You need to do sprints. 2 miles of sprints, not sprint straight 2 miles, but I tell people sprint the light poles. That's what I do. You take a busy long street with a sidewalk, sprint to the light pole and jog to the next. Sprint to the light pole, jog to the next, and you do that for 2 miles. Push-ups every single night, but not every single night, at least 3 nights a week, and do 2 minutes of push-ups, 2 minutes of sit-ups. For the running, okay, so I said, let me backtrack. Sprint 2 miles of sprints on one day. A basic, just a regular 2-mile run on one day. Timed 2-mile run, because your 2-mile run for your test is going to be timed. So a timed 2-mile run, 2 miles of sprints one day, and then one day a long run. No less than 3 miles. I know it sounds like a lot for people who've never worked out or ran, but you could build yourself up to it. So if you never run more than, you know, to the end of the corner, then start with like a couple blocks. Do a jog for say 15 minutes. Doesn't have to be a fast jog, just a slow jog, but don't stop for 15 minutes. And then the next week you go a little bit longer and you time it. And the next week you go a little bit longer and you time it. So by the end, say you get to a mile out, you time it, and then so the next week you should be able to do that same mile in a couple seconds less. You should knock some seconds off of your mile run time, and this is what you need to do. That's why you need to do it every week, because if you do it once, your body's gonna be like, okay, and then you're gonna take 2 weeks off and it's gonna start back from zero. So 2 miles of sprints, 2 mile run, and then a long run up to 3 miles minimum. Once you get going, do that. That's your 3 workouts a week, and do push-ups and sit-ups, 2 minutes of them 3 nights a week. And I guarantee you, you will be at a place where you can function physically and keep up with the rest of the people. Once you get to basic training, they're gonna run you into the ground. So you want to prepare before you get there. That was like a long response to that question. My name is Jasmine, and this is August. I will be shipping out for Fort Sill basic training soon. 68 Quebec, so she's gonna be a pharmacy tech like me. Woo woo. With this being the career path you've taken, also I would like to know about the process of ranking up with this field. Could you give me some advice on how you can get through AIT in terms of understanding the material? What are the chances of you being placed in war zone? Which base should I seek for my first duty station? So I wrote her back. 68 Quebec pharmacy technician is a pretty, I would say, it's a pretty, I don't want to say hard. I always say that it's not hard, but it's a pretty competitive environment in the AIT. You really have to remain focused and prioritize your day, prioritize your studying. Like, you need to study if you're thinking about going into pharmacy, because it's a lot that you have to learn. The way they break it down and teach you is doable, but there is a high fail out rate for a pharmacy technician. Mostly due to the math. That's what gets people. There is some math involved because we do make IVs and syringes and things like that, and it goes by dosing and weight. But I would say the math and learning the drugs. So when I went through 10 years ago, we had to learn like 20 drugs a week, I want to say. About 20 drugs a week. We had to know the trade name, the generic name, what it was used for, and what like therapeutic effect it helps. So if it was a cardiac drug, or if it was a neurological drug, or if it was, you know, something with diabetes, you have to know what class, and you have to know the trade name, generic name, how to spell it, and what the drug actually did. So it's very intimidating, and you really got to study. But you have study hall, mandatory study hall. We had study groups, we had tests. But as far as ranking up, pharmacy is, as you can see, I've been at E5 for about 4 or 5 years now, because points are very high. So medical in general is a field that I tell people to go into. Please, if you're thinking about going into the military, you don't know what you want to go into, medical, IT, MI, military intelligence, those jobs, you will more than likely have a guaranteed job when you get out. And it's something that you can make an actual career out of. So medical in general has a lot of people. It encompasses a lot of areas. We have radiology, we have lab, we have pediatrics, we have pharmacy, we have oncology, we have physical therapy. So you have all of those aspects of a medical job, depending on what you pick. But because medical has a big area and a lot of people are going into it, it's very competitive. So my points are very high most of the time, 798. It's kind of hard for me to explain for people who aren't military related, but just know that you have to make a certain amount of points in order to get promoted, and depending on how many people they promoted or how many people they need, they will make the points very high, so that it's hard for you to reach that amount of points to get promoted to the next rank. So I'm not gonna lie, medical field is very hard to rank up depending on which MOS you pick within the medical field. It's very, very hard to get ranked. It's doable. People do it all the time, but you just gotta work a little bit harder. You gotta be a little bit more competitive in that field. So I definitely suggest doing it. And then chances of being placed in a war zone. This question is hard, and I get this all the time. Well, I want to join, but I don't want to go to war. Just know that when you sign up, that is a great possibility that you can go to war. Fortunately for me, I have never deployed, and I've been in over 10 years. It just is the luck of the draw for me. But that is not the case for a lot of my pharmacy battle buddies. With that being said, the chances of you deploying depend on a lot of different things. It depends on the unit that you get placed at. It depends on your specific job at that unit. It depends on what slots you get put into it. There's something called profit slot where those people get attached to other units and they just go with those units and they leave their home unit. It depends on what duty station you go to. You go somewhere like Fort Hood, Fort Bragg, those places are always deploying. One coming out, one going in. One coming out, one going in. Fortunately for me, I've been at small little clinics, small little duty stations that don't deploy. I've been in, yeah, they don't deploy. So it's hard for me to answer that question because it depends on all of those factors that I just listed. You may or may not go, but I can tell you for the most part, not all the time, if you deploy, when you deploy, you will be doing your job. That's what you, especially in the medical field. Can't speak for any of the other MOSs or jobs, but in medical field, you deploy to do your job. So if I were to be deployed, I would go over in Iraq, Baghdad, Afghanistan, Kuwait, wherever they send me, and I would work in a pharmacy. So that's, people think that once you deploy, you automatically go out on the front lines. Everybody go out on the front lines and they just shoot people and kill people. A lot of people deploy and they've never killed people at all their whole 20 years. That's not what happens. Now you may get tasked with something like gate guard or something like that where you know, watch the gates, people coming in and out. But more than likely when you deploy and you go over there, you're going to be doing your job. So if I was a radiology tech, I go over there, I'm going to be doing x-rays. If I was a cook, I go over there and I cook. If I was a lab technician, I go over there and draw blood in a clinic, in a hospital. It could be a field hospital, it could be a full brick and mortar hospital, but you do your job. So that is like the biggest thing that I want to get out of these questions, because people ask me that all the time. Well, when will I deploy? How often will I deploy? What will I be doing? You'll be doing your job. If you, and I can speak for medical, can't speak for the other MOSs. The people that are out there shooting on the front lines are infantry. They chose to go, that's their job that they picked, the infantry job, to go out there and shoot people and kill people. So not everyone, they don't sweep everyone up and send them out into battle like you see on TV, those old World War II and MASH movies, and you're out there shooting. That's not the case, more than likely, most of the time. So I'm going to end it here because this video has gotten to be very, very long. I only answered 3 questions. If you all want me to answer your questions, let me know below in the comment section. Feel free to email me. My email address is below in the comment section. And I will see you all in the next one. Bye.